Okay, first things first. My hair is different. I did it myself. Look at the ombre. Look at the curls. That's it. That's it. Hey guys, it's Olivia and I'm back with another video. So I've been on YouTube for 5 years now. I started my channel on March 7th, 2016, and it is currently the end of March in 2021. And I am not a YouTube expert by any means. In that time period, I have managed to gain 7,539 subscribers as of the time of me filming this video. So I'm not going to say I know everything, but I definitely know more now than I did 5 years ago, and I just want to share some of that information with you. So you guys have read the title, and you know that today I'm going to be talking about how the YouTube algorithm actually works. But before we get into the video, be sure to subscribe to my channel because I'm making videos every Monday. I make anywhere from YouTube related videos like this to Uber Eats delivery videos to Pop Socket videos. And with all that being said, let's get into this week's video. So, how does the YouTube algorithm actually work? And since I claim to know this, then why don't I have a bunch of subscribers and a bunch of views? The way the algorithm works, or the way that I have seen it work, is you need views to get views. And I know that that sounds very paradoxical, and I know that that doesn't sound like a very helpful statement, but let me elaborate. From what I have seen from my videos that have done well, I have one with over 600,000 views, one with over 100,000 views, one with over 60,000 views, etc., etc. What I have seen from looking at the analytics of those videos is they started relatively average. So like for me, I'll average 100 views within the first week of uploading a video. So it'll get to that 100 views in the first week and then stay there week 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And then at week 6, now it just jumped up to 700. Now it has 1,000. Now it has 1,500, etc., etc. And what I noticed is in those first initial 100 views, people were watching for a good period of time. So let's say my most popular video is 14 minutes, and people in those first 100 or so views, people were watching 7 or 8 minutes. So 50% or more. Which means I was keeping people engaged for that period of time. So that told YouTube, this is a good video. The people who she got to watch it, because at the time when I uploaded my most popular video, I had about 600, almost 700 subscribers at the time. So I had a tenth of the amount of subscribers I have now. And so I got my 100 views, but those 100 views were quality views. I was keeping people on the platform for 7 to 8 minutes. So then YouTube's like, okay, her initial people liked it, so let's show it to more people. So in order for YouTube to know whether or not your video is worth watching, people need to watch it, right? Because how are they gonna know the average watch time of this video if you don't have any views? How are they gonna know how long people would watch for if people watched it, if no one watched it, right? And so how do you get these initial views? Because YouTube's not just going to bombard you with 1,000 views, 2,000, 10,000, 100,000. They're not just going to bombard you with views when you haven't proven whether or not your video is worth viewing. So since they're not just going to give you views, like here's some free views. Since YouTube's not going to do that, how do you get those initial views? How do you make sure that your first upload doesn't sit at 0 views? You're going to have to share your videos on social media. And I know that that can be very nerve-wracking because you're just starting this thing and maybe you don't want people to know. Maybe you're still in school. Like when I started my YouTube channel, I was in grade 11. It's not like now when I'm in university and there's 60,000 people that go to my school. So if I shared on my Insta that one random person in my economics class, they're not gonna know that I made a YouTube video, right? Meanwhile, when you're in high school and pretty much everyone knows everyone, they're like acquainted with everyone, well then if you make a video and then you share it to your Instagram, Well, most of your Instagram followers are probably people from your high school, right? So people are gonna know, and maybe you don't want people to know. Maybe you're afraid of what people are gonna say. And I get that, because I was literally in that boat, because I started my channel when I was in high school. What I have to say to that is, if you plan on doing YouTube for the long haul, they're gonna find out eventually anyways. So why don't you be the one to tell them, instead of them finding out and like, oh my gosh, Olivia has a YouTube channel, I wonder why she didn't tell us, let's see what's on it. And like, now they're in the mindset of, oh, she didn't want to share it, so it must be something embarrassing. Now they're in that mindset because they had to find out on their own. But if you just straight up say, yeah, I made a YouTube video, I'm proud of what I made, check out the video. You know what I mean? Like, if you are just like, oh yeah, check out my video, who's gonna say anything? And even if they do say anything, you should genuinely be proud of that video, because, can I just say this? Everybody's first video was bad. However, if you never make your first video, you'll never get good. So my first YouTube video, I don't really like it very much. It's still up on my channel if you want to watch it. But that, to me, is my biggest YouTube achievement, because without that video, I wouldn't have been able to achieve anything else. I wouldn't have been able to get to 7,500 subscribers if I didn't upload my first video. Right? So it's like, even if it's not the best video under the sun, you should still be proud that you made it, so you should share it. Because without that video, everything great that comes after would have never been able to happen. I know it sounds so cheesy, but I will forever say that my first YouTube video is my greatest YouTube achievement, because without that video, nothing that came after would have been able to happen. Right? So it might sound cheesy, but it's true. Right? So when I made my first video, I was nervous to share it, but I did. I shared it to my Insta. I don't have a big Instagram following or anything. At the time, I maybe have like 200 followers. Now I have like 400. But so I have a very small Instagram, but I shared it to my Instagram. I shared it on my main feed. I didn't put it in my story. I put it on my main feed. The post is still there. And I'm like, hey guys, I made a new YouTube video. I'm kind of nervous to share it, but like, check it out. Link in bio. Like, okay? And so I understand that it can be nerve-wracking to share it, but if you don't get those initial views, then YouTube doesn't have anything to go off of. They don't know if it's a good video. Like, let's say your first video is 5 minutes long, and then you share it to some of your friends, and they watch, some watch for 3 minutes, some watch for 4 minutes, some watch for 2 minutes, one watches for 5 minutes, blah, blah, blah. And let's say after they take all the averages of everyone who watched, the average watch time was 4 minutes. That means on average, people are watching 80% of your video. So that's going to tell YouTube, this is a good video. Or the initial group of people who watched it liked it. So let's push it out to more people. And another thing, when you get these initial views from people, you not only tell YouTube like, oh, this is a good video, people watched it for X amount of minutes, but you also tell YouTube what type of people like this video. Because let's say, for example, going back to my most popular video, let's say those first 100 people were between the ages of 18 and 25, and 70% of them were male, right? Because they were logged into their account when they were watching the video. Well, then now when YouTube pushes my video, like, oh, these first 100 people liked it, let me push it to more people, they're not gonna push it to women who are 65 plus, because I have shown them that this video appeals to people who are between 18 and 25 and are male, right? So also by getting your own initial views, by sharing it here, there, wherever, by getting your own initial views, you also show them who to share your video to. That way, when they're like, okay, let's give you 500 impressions, like we're gonna make it like go show up on a homepage here, show up in search there, show up on suggested here, blah blah blah. Impressions just means how many times your video was seen. So if your video shows up on someone's homepage, and they just scroll right past it, that still counts as an impression, right? Because it was in front of their face, even if it was for half a second, right? So YouTube's like, okay, let's dole out 500 impressions, right? They're not going to put your video on the homepage of a 65-plus-year-old woman if you've shown them from the original views that you hustled to get. If you showed them that the people interested in this video are ages 18 to 25 males, then when they go and give you those 500 impressions, they're going to put it on the homepage of a male between the ages of 18 and 25. You see what I mean? So by getting, like, you know who you're targeting, or at least you should have an idea. If you make a video called note-taking tips for university students, right? Like how to have organized notes, if that's your video, right? Well, then that's the age range 18 to 25, and that one isn't necessarily gender specific. Like, everybody needs to take notes in university or else you'll fail. So everybody needs to take notes, right? But like, your age range is 18 to 25. You know, I'm targeting college students. I'm showing college students how to take organized notes so that when they go back to study, everything is laid out for them and it's going to make their lives so much easier, right? So you know that that's who you're targeting. So then when you share it to your Instagram, which is followed by people your own age, right? Then the people who watch it are going to be between 18 and 25 because those are the people who you shared it to. So then you just told YouTube, okay, 18 to 25-year-olds are interested in this. So then they're going to push it to those people. So by going out and getting your own views first, i.e. you're going to share it to the right people, then you're telling YouTube that this video is made for people between the ages of 18 and 25, and clearly people within that age range are engaged in the video because it's 5 minutes long and people have watched 4 minutes on average. So people between this age range are watching 80% of this video. This is my target audience and they are in fact interested in this video. Then when YouTube is like, okay, this video is doing well, let's push it a little bit more, push it a little bit more, push it a little bit more. Now they're going to push it to the right people. And then your video is going to continue to get views, continue to have high watch time, and they're still going to keep pushing it. My most popular video, still to this day, it's almost 3 years old. I uploaded it in September of 2018. That video is about 2.5 years old, and it still gets 1,000 views a day. Why? Because YouTube is still pushing it to the right people to this day. If they were pushing it to the wrong people for the past 2 years, it wouldn't still be pushed. Like, let's say they started pushing it to 65-year-olds initially, like 2.5 years ago when it just dropped. If they started pushing it to 65-year-olds and then they weren't clicking it, or they were watching it for 30 seconds and then clicking off then YouTube would be like, oh no, this isn't really a good video, let's stop pushing it. But because I initially shared it to the right target audience, which told YouTube who should be watching it or who I made the video for, and now, for the past 2.5 years, they've been sharing it to those people, then for as long as those people are interested in that video, I'm gonna get thousands of views. So yeah, you need views to get views, and in my opinion, the best way to get the initial views when you have 0 subscribers is to share it to your socials. And when sharing it to your socials, be smart about it. Don't just go on your Twitter and share a link. Like, just post a link, the end. Don't go on your Facebook and do the same thing. Don't go on, like, Reddit and find every single subreddit and just spam your link. No, you don't want to do that. If you're going to share your link, make it appealing. Tell people why they should click it. Genuinely promoting yourself. Like how when you watch a commercial, how now it makes you want to buy that thing. If they just said, buy it, that's not going to make you want to buy it. That's not good advertising. You need to advertise yourself well. If they say you should buy it because da 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 da, and they list all the reasons, maybe it's a food item, and they show someone eating it and the person is enjoying it, well, now you want to buy that thing, or someone out there now wants to buy it because the person in the commercial looked like they enjoyed that meal, right? So if someone just says, buy this thing because I said so, that's not good promoting. But if you say buy it because it's nutritious, it tastes good, it can be prepared in under 10 minutes, da 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 da, well, now you're like, okay, maybe I'll try that the next time I'm in the grocery store. I might just pick one up. You know what I mean? So don't just share your link and say, watch it because I said so, because that's not it. Say, hey, anyone who's looking to learn how to do X, I made a video about it. You should check it out. It's a 5-minute tutorial. You can learn how to do this in under 5 minutes. Check it out if you're interested. That's a much better way to promote yourself than say, I made a video, so watch it. Like, that ain't gonna do anything, right? So yeah, that's it. In all honesty, you need views to get views. And the best way to do that is to share it to your social media. And by doing that, you're gonna tell YouTube who's interested in it, and then when those people view it, then YouTube will start sharing it a little bit more, like, oh, they hustled, they got 50 views on their very first video and it seems to be doing well, people seem to be watching it for a long time. Now they're not only gonna start sharing it, but they're going to share it to the right people, which is then gonna get you even more views because it's just gonna continue to do well. Because the people who are supposed to see it are gonna keep seeing it, and the numbers and the average watch time and everything are gonna stay up. So then why would they stop promoting it? They're not gonna stop promoting a video that's doing well. So you want to tell YouTube who the target audience is, that way they share it to the right people. And the best way to do that is to initially share it to the right people yourself, so then you're basically telling the algorithm everything it needs to know. So that's all for this week's video. I hope it was informative and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you think your friends will enjoy it, be sure to share it with them. All my social media links will be down below in case you want to follow me on there. Be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make new videos every Monday, and I'll see you next Monday with a new video. I need to sneeze. Achoo! Bless me. Bless me again.